In the studio today,
We make our own best audience.
That's right, right here on West Sahara, 6655 West Sahara. And Amy, you are going to start us off with some fabulous new message for everyone today.
I guess that'll be up to everybody to decide.
Since last May, we've been here on Lunch with Sandy, and every week Amy has been giving us a Delivering Happiness message. So, what is it today, Amy?
Well, I'm really excited. The layest blog post, really, it's an article. I worked with Bob, who's a pure happiness coach. He's in Vancouver, and he had Googled happiness, and my name came up.
Oh my gosh, that's great.
So he emailed me. So he emailed me, and he and I had been corresponding, and I said, let's write an article together because we obviously were divinely brought together.
Right.
So it just came out, and the title is "Happiness is an Inside Job." And what we believe is that what you need to do is shift your perception to happiness. And if it isn't that, that's something that you need to work on. Because I really do. I see happiness as a natural state, and our job is to heal anything between that natural state and what's going on for us. So in the article, I cite, Jill Taylor she wrote The Stroke of Insight. She's a brain scientist who observed herself having a stroke.
Oh my gosh.
Yes, and these are her words from her book. She said, "I understand that Dr. Jill Bolt Taylor died that morning, and yet, with that being said, who was left? Without a language center telling me I'm Dr. Jill Taylor. I live at this address and I can be reached at this phone number. I felt no obligation to being her anymore. It was truly a bizarre shift in perception, but without her emotional circuitry reminding me of her likes and her dislikes, or her ego center reminding me about her patterns of judgment, I didn't think about her anymore. From a practical perspective, considering the amount of biological damage being done, again, wasn't even an option. In my mind, in my new perception, that Dr. Jill died that morning and no longer existed. Now that I didn't know her life, her relationships, her successes, and her mistakes, I was no longer bound to her decisions or self-induced limitations." So for me, looking at that, I really stopped and thought about, okay, so who am I without my relationships and successes and not successes and all those things? So I want to issue a challenge to everybody. I want you to take some time and look at who are you without your opinions, without your judgments, without your relationships. And take some time and define what is happiness truly for you, and then start thinking about what are some steps I can take towards that happiness, and of course then do them.
I had a stroke, so I know what you're talking about.
Yeah.
And at the time, I was thinking of survival, so I got to the hospital right away.
Great.
In time for them to give me blood transfusions and stuff. And luckily, it had already started to numb my arms and my hands and my legs. And I just prayed at that point, that the blood thinner would work, the Coumadin. And as you can see, it did.
And then did it really have you stop and think, who am I really?
Oh yeah,
after
then
that?
I went to church right away.
Yeah.
And, there's only one person to thank at that point.
Absolutely.
Now, do you find that you go to church? Did you go to church more afterwards after that happened?
I think I did. Yeah, I go every Sunday now and every Holy Day, and I happen to be Catholic in spite of all of the pedophilia that's happening, which I'm certainly very disgusted about. And
well, people are people. That has nothing to do with the religion.
It doesn't have to do with.
Right.
Well, in a way, it has to do with the church because, when it's happening with cardinals and popes and etc. But I also realize that, I believe in God, and I believe that He started the church, the Christian church, which we think is the Catholic church. Other people think otherwise. But all you can do now is pray that the church starts making the changes that it needs to make. I mean, these pedophiles have to be reported to the police, just like everybody else.
But what I was asking you about is, I think that when you go through a situation like you did, which you said, when you started going to the church more often, or reminding yourself, that you're blessed for every day that we have here on earth, right?
Right.
And I think sometimes it takes something like that We have, Tricia Grisham and Terrion Lofton here from the Southern Nevada Teen Pregnancy Prevention Project. And I know that we've got a lot of teens in Southern Nevada that are, that need some support and help. And in fact, so welcome, ladies.
Thank you.
You're both project managers. You can get in on that microphone there because you're going to need to get real close to that microphone so we can all hear
Get
you.
chummy, girls.
That's right. Yeah, get close. So, but there's a lot of situations out there where we need support and.
Well, just like it says, everybody has to step up.
Right.
If you see something that it doesn't make sense and it isn't right, we're each responsible. Not the church, not the state, it's each of us.
Each of us.
And
right.
it's all standing up as a grassroots movement. I think
Right.
that's what makes this country great.
Right.
Is people willing to stand up and do the right thing, even
That's
when
why
it
I
looks
want a
crazy.
picture of you next to my room, in my bedroom, so I can look at that face that is going to be such a great example for me.
What face?
Not both of you.
Oh.
No, that's Two-Face. No, wait a minute.
We're two-faced. No, wait a minute, I'm not two-faced.
No, I think he's talking about the delivering happiness messenger here.
you're not
So he can be
two-faced.
reminded
Well, I don't know,
of the,
yeah.
But
the
I'm-
happiness messages
Yeah.
that you're
And I think we're
delivering.
both happiness and walking in purpose, which
Yes,
I believe
yes.
this is what WIMA is all about.
Yeah.
Is how we do this. If you're walking in your purpose, you're not going to do things that aren't the right things to do.
Yeah, and amazingly, we were born to be good and to do right,
I
but
believe
we
that.
don't because our free will, we're tempted to do wrong because of free will.
Absolutely.
That's where the choice is.
Right, but we do have a choice, and you're right.
Exactly.
And so we hope that we make the right choices, and if we
We'll
do
inspire others to
slip,
do that
we get back on track, as soon as possible. So I wanted to ask about the pregnancy program of you girls. You're both program managers, and how long have you both been involved in the program?
This is Trisha, and I have been part of the program for 3 years. I started at the actual inception of the program, other than the actual grant writing for the program. But I started as an instructor, and then because I was a graduate assistant at UNLV, and then I transitioned over with Education for Quality Living, who is one of the partners of Southern Nevada Teen Pregnancy Prevention Project. And Terrion and I have both been working there, me for almost 3 months because I transitioned, and then Terrion for...
This is Terrion, and I started with the Education for Quality Living, one of the partners on the project, in October. So it's been great so far.
Well, that's good. So we're going to learn more about the program and what it is that you're offering the girls. And in a little bit, I wanted to also welcome Dolly Coulter and Kelly Wright, who just came in. They are both from the Trunk Show. Dolly Coulter is a musical director, and Kelly Wright is one of the cast members. They're shaking their heads. What do I do? No. What are you?
I'm the musical director for the Super Summer Theater
Oh my
show.
gosh, there's so many Dolly Coulter is involved in so many programs I cannot keep track. Well, what are you
I'm just
then?
singing in this
Oh, you're
one.
just singing.
Yeah.
So you're a cast member in the
Yes.
Trunk Show, which is by
Yes.
Jay Josephs, right?
Yes.
It's being directed by Jay
Yes.
Josephs.
Yes.
Easy for me to say. Anyway, so they just joined us here in the studio, and then Gary Anthony is here, and he is going to sing a song for us. Hi,
Well,
Gary.
hi.
But first of all, let's have you come on up here and say
Well,
hello to our
good.
audience.
How you doing? Everybody's well?
Good. Yes, we are well.
Yes. I'm going to Hawaii tomorrow. Are you happy for me?
Oh, it's not my
Is
fault.
that-
How come you're not taking me with you? Don't you have any extra?
Yeah. Well, sometimes I do, and sometimes they just say we want you to go, and no, I'm gonna have a great time there.
Is this the show you're going to be doing with Barbara Streisand's?
Yeah, the
Tribute?
Rebecca Clark.
Yeah.
She's going to travel with me, and we're going to do the Frank and Barbara thing for an event, convention event.
Rebecca Clark. Now, how long have you been working with
Oh
Rebecca?
gosh, like about a year, maybe 2 years.
Uh-huh.
Yeah, she's a wonderful singer.
And where in Hawaii are you going to be?
Maui.
Oh, Maui. Oh, you poor thing. It's only 80 degrees out over
Four
there every
Seasons
single
Hotel,
day.
what are you gonna do? I mean, come on, And what the heck? It's all in fun.
So how long are you going to be over there?
Oh, about 3 days.
3 days, and then you'll be back.
Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah. Then I come back. I got to do a convention, so I can't stay there.
All right.
Shame on me.
All right. Well, plus you have to be out on lunch with Sandy,
That's true.
I can only let you go for a few days at a time, right?
Yeah.
So what song are you going to sing for us
This
today?
song, well, I'm going to let it play. I brought the CD, my CD, and
Oh, okay.
yeah, this is we were talking about all our situations going on with our bodies or whatever, and what's going on out there. So this is the appropriate song. It's called "That's Life."
That's life. That's what all the people say.
That's what they keep saying. I played the game of life before. Yes.
I've been up and down.
But there's just one thing I know. All right, let's hear this song from Gary Anthony. Huh? No.
That's life. That's what all the people say. You're riding high in April, shut down in May. But I know I'm gonna change that tune. When I'm back on top in June. I said that's life. And it's funny as it may seem, some people get their kicks stomping on a dream. But I don't let it get me down. 'Cause this fine old world, it keeps spinning around. I've been a puppet, a pauper, a pirate, a poet, a pawn and a king. I've been up and down and over and out. And I know one thing, each time I find myself flat on my face, I pick myself up and get back in the race. That's right. I tell you, I can't deny it. I thought of quitting, baby, but my heart ain't gonna buy it. And if I didn't think it was worth one single try, I'll jump right on a big bird and then I'll fly. I've been a puppet, a pauper, a pirate, a poet, a pawn and a king. I've been up and down.
If you're just tuning in now, you're listening to Lunch with Sandy, and that was Gary Anthony singing "That's Life." And Gary, where was that recorded?
In my house.
In your house?
I have my own studio.
Oh, your own studio.
Yeah, I do it in my own
Well, then you're
house.
supposed to say my studio.
Oh, my studio.
Yeah,
In my
my
house.
studio.
In Maui.
In Maui. 4 seasons.
So Gary, I know you and Steve have known each other a long time.
yeah.
You've been, both being performers in this town.
We were married years ago.
Yeah. I had that little spark. I could see that spark.
Yeah, forget about
But
it.
I wanted to ask the two of you, I wanted to ask you a question about the business of being an artist. Developing your own show, like Steve, you did years ago. I mean, you were a singer always, right?
Yeah.
And then eventually you got into doing comedy.
Well, with
And
Marty
being a straight
Allen.
man, yes.
And I was a straight
You
man.
were a straight man.
Because before that I was gay. And,
So then you became a straight man.
Worked out very well for me. I always wondered why they call him the straight man. Like you were gay before? I mean, come on, give me a break.
There's the straight man
Yeah.
and the funny man.
But in the early years, we couldn't afford to get a writer, so I was forced to write because
To be the
Marty didn't
writer.
have the
Okay.
the
But that was a good
talent for it.
experience for you.
Oh, absolutely.
Right, to write. Yeah.
And it's, just proof of you have to do what you have to do.
That's right.
It may not be right, but,
Yeah.
it's something that's happening.
Yeah, and then Gary, when you got back into business, I know you'd been kind of out of it for a little bit while you were raising your family. Well, maybe not totally out of it, but you were, raising a family.
I think
and
he's
you had
always
a
been
business.
totally out of it.
No, I had
Not the business.
when I got married, I had to get a real job.
You had a real job to support your family and all the kids you had, So
You did have,
Well, I had
children.
3. I had 3 children. Yeah.
One of each. Huh?
that's right. But then when you made the commitment to go back into a full time into into what you were passionate about, which was singing.
Yeah.
Then you had to also get out there and put together kind of a business package for yourself.
Yes, I did. Well,
Right.
well, I moved to Vegas in '94.
Uh-huh.
I was producing, directing television in Hollywood, and I said, I've had this passion to do Sinatra for all my life, and I've been singing these songs all my
Yeah.
life. So I said, I'm packing it up. I'm going to Vegas to fulfill a dream, and I knew I could do it.
Okay, we're going to talk more about that when we're back after our sponsors, okay? We'll be right back with Lunch with Sandy.
That's you.
Somebody quick, go get it. Go get the lunch.
Here we go.
It's Las Vegas's #1 women's organization for scholarships in the arts. Here again is your host, Sandy Kastel.
Welcome back to Lunch with Sandy. I'm here today with our guest and co-host Amy Frost and our guest Gary Anthony, Steve Rossi, Tricia Grisham, Terrion Lofton, Dolly Coulter, Kelly Wright, and Michael Throckmorton. Is that everybody? Did I miss anybody? And we have our videographer, the video guy, Mark Richards here, and also our
Gary
engineer.
and I are the women in arts.
You are the women
Yes,
in
we are.
arts, aren't you? Yeah. Well, you know, we do have male members.
Well, that's what I wanted to find out.
By the way, Women in Music and Arts is a group of literary, visual, and performing artists that have come together to empower artists of all ages through education, mentorship, and scholarships. And we have a mixer this evening over at the Sela Art Salon, which is downtown at 509. That is South 7th Street. And it's a great little artist gallery, and we're going to be there from 6 to 8. So if you're interested in joining us, come on out. And if you want to find out more about the WIMA Foundation, you can go to wimafoundation.org. We encourage you to be a member. The membership is very reasonable. It's only $35. And with that, you get to come to the monthly mixers. We have different events that we put on throughout the year. And we get together, we do community outreach, we do workshops, we do seminars, conferences, and just a lot of fun things besides raising money for
Does
scholarships.
Gary and I have to wear gowns when we get
Yes, you
there?
do. You do.
You are men supporting women in music and arts.
That's right, that's
We've been
right.
supporting
Well,
women for years.
Coming to the
Yes.
mixer, it's great to meet people, but I think it's also a great opportunity to see how we can collaborate together,
Yes.
and create those relationships, which we're finding to be so important.
Yeah, and Amy and I have been putting together a few different groups of women that are getting together to collaborate on different events, and just to brainstorm about what we can do in our community to bring more awareness to the arts and also to what can be done to help the community.
Well,
be
finding
more
ways
aware
to
of things.
take your gifts and talents
Yeah.
and help causes that you care about.
Right. So Tricia, tell us a little bit more about the Southern Nevada Teen Pregnancy Prevention Project.
Well, it is a project that is funded by the Office of Adolescent Health with the Human and Health Services. And we have been around for 3 years, and we work in faith-based organizations teaching young people sexual health education, specifically in reference to teen pregnancy prevention and also in HIV/AIDS prevention. Our target population are African American youth, age 14 to 19 years old, and this specific community is at high risk for contracting HIV, and they are also of high risk of having teen pregnancy rates.
So do you have other programs to teach them other things like educational, like business things, or how to write their resumes if they're going out for job applications, things like that?
Currently, we do not under
Yeah.
SNTPPP. No.
Okay.
However, that's not to say that we are not interested in doing more.
Okay.
SNTPP was a program created through a group collaborative of different organizations in Las Vegas, UNLV and Education for Quality Living. So they work together as a team to do the education for the young people. So we recruit churches, faith-based organizations, African American faith-based organizations, and they help us to recruit the youth. And then we have instructors that we train from the community that actually provide the curriculum to the youth.
Okay.
And I think it's really important that you guys are doing what you're doing and really focused on that. And then the resumes and the other parts. There's so many great nonprofits in this community doing that kind of work, and so working together, when you go in there, you find out here's the need, and then
Right.
I work with the Nonprofit Sector Foundation, and we support nonprofits nationally, but certainly the 8,000 here in Las Vegas, and work to bring them together.
There's
So I
only
think that's
8,000?
Only 8,000. Only 8,000. Well, that was maybe
That's a
more.
lot.
Who knows? Yeah. So it's really important. I think that everybody, as an artist too,
Uh-huh.
that you're doing what you're here to do,
Right.
and do that really well, and then you collaborate
This is
with others
KLAV,
to
12:30 a.m.,
like I say,
and
find
it's a show
people
right now.
who are doing it well and help them do it better.
Great.
So again, I honor you for the work that you're doing, and I want to support you in finding organizations to help those needs that are bubbling up as you're going into those organizations.
We thank you. It's not just us by any means. There's a whole lot of us that are working together.
Absolutely.
Oh yeah, and Robert Robinson was going to be here today. I think he's going to be out here next week, and he's working with your program also.
Correct. He is part of UNLV,
Right.
and he does the recruitment for the faith-based organizations.
Okay. Well, he and I had talked about trying to figure out a way for WIMA to be a part and maybe come in and maybe do some art classes for the
that'd be
girls.
great.
That's what I was mentioning in the green room there. That's really a blue room.
Just to clarify, SNTPP does not target only females. We do target both males and females.
Yeah, and mostly it's teens.
Correct. They're
Yeah.
14 to 19 years old.
14 to 19, right. Right. Well, we just feel it's very important, to give everyone something that they're passionate about, something that's creative, and to encourage them to follow their dreams and pursue their passions. And I think that the more that they have those tools that they can work with, and the more that they have the tools to go out into life with. So, yeah. So Michael, we've got Michael Throckmorton sitting over here. I just want to throw you in here. Come on over here. Get on the microphone here. I want you to say hello to the audience.
Hey, how's everybody doing?
Hi, Michael. Michael, you started out singing when you were a young boy, and you weren't really encouraged by your family, but you went off and you did all these wonderful things. You were in productions at some point when you were a youth.
Sure.
And then you went off and got a regular job, kind of, sort of.
Yeah, I realized that it was going to be a long, difficult, painful, probably homeless existence with my basic abilities. So.
But now you've decided that you want to go out and pursue your passion, and you have been coming into the Las Vegas area with your group. And tell me again about
Yeah,
what that
it's the
group
Las
is.
Vegas Dance and Music Club, and our primary function is to create opportunities for song and dance for charity functions, and primarily not only for veterans causes, but specifically. That's kind of where our heart is trying to help our veterans. We have a lot of veterans that are, they're young guys and gals that have been over, seen some things that they're not dealing with very well. And, I feel obligated. I didn't serve in the military. I'm 55 presently, a little bit too young for Vietnam, and much too weak and decrepit to be of any use at this point. So I do. I think as all of us, we love our country, and those that serve, whether it's in a capacity as a active duty soldier, our police, our firefighters, these are tough jobs.
So, but you're putting together. Actually, you and I are working on a show. We're putting together. With a big band or a small band or whatever size band we can manage to scrape together, right?
Yeah.
But so that we can go out and do some functions with some different projects.
Yeah, and basically we're the whole goal is to be able to create some opportunities for people to give, and then with the funds we want to keep all the funds here locally, and we want to make certain that these funds actually get to the intended individuals, helping guys and gals, put their lives back together. And some of it is for, you've got a young widow that's got a couple of kids at home and is trying to go back to school and maybe needs a car. Whatever it might be, we're trying to be able to
help make a difference.
Make a difference, and so it actually gets there. It's not all tied up in management. A lot of these big fundraisers, it gets very difficult to manage a very, very large fund.
That's right.
Without a lot of expense.
So we're gonna hear from you a little bit later on in the show, because you're gonna sing one of your originals for us that is apropos to what we're talking about today.
Yeah,
so.
it's called Live Your Life and Dream a Little Dream.
Okay, great. Well, thanks a lot for being on the show. I know stick around. And Dolly Coulter, you and Kelly, come on up here. I want to introduce you to our listening audience, and I want to hear a little bit about your trunk show that is directed by Jay Joseph.
Jay Joseph and Carolyn Clark.
Carolyn Clark.
Carolyn Clark
okay.
is musical director and is also in the show.
Okay, and that's Kelly Wright, you're hearing.
Hi.
Hi, Kelly.
Hi.
How are you?
Good.
Gosh, let's see. The first time I met you was when we did Backup, which is Dolly Coulter's and Bert
10 years
Anderson's
ago,
play.
right?
It wasn't that long ago.
It was 9 years ago.
No, really?
No, it
had to have at least 12.
No, it was not 12.
No.
10, 12, 10.
Let's figure it
A
out.
while ago.
Actually, Dolly Coulter and I have known each other for a long time. We were in Jesus Christ Superstar together when we were just kids at UNLV, and we're going to be putting together a couple of projects with WIMA. We've got 3 original productions that we're going to be putting up this year. through
Kelly's
WIMA.
going to revive her part in the show.
She is.
She's going
Are
to
you
come
too?
back to us.
Well, I hope so. I hope
Kelly?
so. I get to be the woman. Well, the
We get
girl,
to be bitchy to
woman.
each other,
I don't know.
yeah.
Everybody loves to hate. I'm the
Yeah.
drama queen.
Life itself.
Art imitates life. Is that how they say?
Yeah, when Dolly called and told me what part she wanted me to take, she said, "Now don't take this personally."
But you have a song called "It's All About Me."
It's all about me. So tell us a little bit about the trunk show.
The Trunk Songs is actually a review that was done that Jay did, over 20 years ago, I think, in
Yeah.
LA. He said it was called An Elephant Never Forgets, an Evening of Trunk Songs. Because the Trunk Songs are songs that have been cut from shows that were on the way to Broadway, perhaps because maybe the show was too long, or the writer or the director or the producers decided that they didn't fit the show.
Right.
And a couple of them were from, they're playing our song, I believe, and the show won awards in LA and New York, and they're the actual music of Jerry Sternbach and Faye Greenberg and John Croner.
Okay.
So,
And so did you bring any tracks?
We didn't bring any
Oh,
tracks
okay, not
because,
today.
believe it or not, everything is live. We do everything
yeah,
in the
it's
show
all Carolyn
live.
plays piano. I have a little demo that I put on Facebook, but it's got like.
Oh, so
several
you're singing
clips
a
on it.
cappella then, right?
No.
Oh,
With a live musician. Live musician. So.
But the songs, they're all original, and so
and they're
it's like
funny,
yeah,
good songs.
and
So
some of
they're-
them are like just beautiful ballads, and it's just the cast is so talented. It's just a lot of seasoned performers in the
with
cast.
Jay Joseph and Carolyn Clark is the musical director. She plays the piano and also sings,
Yeah.
which is wonderful. And Lysanda Abadia and Natalie Carson, Dolly, Margaret Gret Menzies, and Benjamin Lowy, and myself.
And okay, so where is this being performed?
At the Onyx Theater.
At the Onyx Theater. Now tell us a little bit about the Onyx Theater. I hear
Oh,
it's a very
do you
unique
wanna,
place.
It's an
The
incredibly
Onyx
unique
Theater
Yeah.
has become the little place
The
to
place.
do shows
Drum
now.
roll.
I
Yeah.
just got done with Sweeney Todd there. I did that in January.
Is
and
it a 90-seat theater?
99 seat, I
99
think.
seat
Yeah.
theater? So is that considered, is it an equity? It's not an equity theater, is it?
I think
But
I think it can be used as an equity theater,
Because
but
the
it's
99
also
seats, right?
yeah, but it's also available. In other words, if you're equity, you can still perform there
They have a
because
lot
they
of
have a
different-
lot of different contracts that they
Okay.
can do underneath it and
Yeah.
stuff like that.
There are a lot of different shows going on all the time, but it's been the play. They've got a big Broadway series coming up this year. And
Okay, great. If you are just tuning in now, you're listening to Lunch with Sandy, and I've got a full house here at the studio at 6655 West Sahara here at KLAV 1230 AM on your dial. We'll be right back after a message from our sponsors. Welcome back to Lunch with Sandy. I've got a full house here in the studio at KLAV 1230 AM on West Sahara. So Amy, I know you had a question about what equity theater is because it was brought up when Kelly and Dolly were talking, and even though this isn't an equity theater project. Equity is an organization, right?
It's a union.
It's a union.
It's a
There you
union
go.
like SAG and AFTRA. It's a union.
Okay, and then a lot of so you've got a lot of that in New York. I don't really think, like you said, I don't really think we have any equity theaters.
yes, that's the shows that come into town at the Smith Center.
The
and-
Smith
Yeah,
Center,
Smith
those
Center.
are equity.
Yeah.
Yeah, and
Oh, that's
Jersey
right,
Boys.
those.
Yeah.
But it's before that. Oh, Jersey Boys.
Yeah.
So, okay, so equity theater. Tell them what it is then.
It's basically, it's a union for actors that they are guaranteed, like a certain amount of money. That they're protected with the union, just like any other union would be protected, like a culinary union or a Teamsters union. It's in order to become equity, you have to get in. You have to do an equity show.
Right.
So it's kind of like you put your time in and do a lot of shows that are not equity, and you can gain. I don't want to say
equity
points
shows as
or whatever.
non-equity. You do
Yeah.
equity shows as non-equity.
Yeah, and then then if you do get hired if you come in as non-equity, you can join, which is always a good thing, you know, to do with the union.
So, but it's not necessary in all of our shows that we have on the strip.
No.
Not equity.
Well,
Just
most
the
of the shows
productions
on
that
most
are
of
musicals,
the
right?
yeah.
Menopause the musical is Jersey Boys, the ones that come into the Smithsonian,
Yeah.
I presume.
Right.
Yeah.
But you know, like the community theater that we do in town, which has just as much talent, you know, on that stage as you would get
Well, you've got
in an
plenty of
equity.
professionals who do the shows.
Yeah.
Who were in equity perhaps years ago, and
Yeah.
not anymore, so.
So, you know, it's a great amount of talent. And, you know, you can check the audition sites and everything and come out and join us and have some fun doing some
And
theater.
You were mentioning original works before.
Yeah,
something
they're
like that.
people making their own breaks and trying to figure out how do I
Well,
do
you can
that.
if you can actually contact Lysander Abadia is now the theatrical director at the Onyx, and they're always welcoming, I think, new works if people want to come
Yeah.
and try them
That's
out.
great.
They're very,
Just
very
contact the
supportive.
Onyx Theater, and the phone number is.
And the phone number is.
Drum roll,
Well, it's
please.
Onyx Theater, and so I'm sure that they can Google that.
Yeah, it's
Onyx
off of,
Theater, Las Vegas, Nevada.
Sahara and Maryland Parkway.
And the
now-
phone number for tickets actually is 732-7225, 732-7225. For tickets, Trunk Songs is this Friday and Saturday at 8 p.m. or www.onyxtheater with an R-E, theater.com.
Perfect.
You have to spell it like a French
Yes.
person.
So is everyone just singing a different song from one of the different productions?
No, there's just different songs. There's duets, there's group songs, there's some beautiful love songs.
Some
Beautiful
comedy
love songs,
songs
some
that are
funny,
just
funny
funny
songs,
songs.
yeah.
Kelly has a lot of funny songs that are really good, and
Oh, I can't imagine Kelly being really funny.
yeah, she's very shy, so it's different for her
In
to
fact,
come out
Steve,
and do.
I'm surprised that Steve and Kelly. Come on, Steve, come here.
Yeah.
Steve, I think that you and Kelly would be a great act together, really, because you could be the straight man.
Maybe she could be the straight woman.
There you go.
We
I have
could
a
go
song
both
called
ways.
My Name is Ethel, about Ethel Merman.
You
It's
do?
very funny, yeah.
Oh.
I'm interested in this.
Did you
because
work
we
with
just
Ethel,
put a-
Steve?
Yes, I did.
Did you?
Yeah, we did the Hollywood Palace with her twice.
Oh, wow.
She was a hell of a gal.
I'm doing a show actually in June with Bill Fain called The Book of Merman.
Oh!
Get it?
That's
Oh,
awesome.
yeah.
Yeah.
Ethel Merman. Yep.
Oh,
So I'm
I'll
looking
have to
forward
see
you'll
if
have
I
to come
can
and
do
see
that show before you do it. But I see you have a playbill for the Onyx Theater, which I think is fabulous, but because I'm just doing a playbill now for the Jimmy Stewart and Friends, which I'm producing for Rich Little at the
Oh, okay.
Love to invite you all, and
Yes.
you can come by
That's LVH.
at the LVH
That's
and the
right.
Shimmer
Oh, and the
Cabaret.
Shimmer one.
How many
which
nights
is-
a week is that playing?
Right now it's Saturday, Sunday, Monday, Tuesday, and Wednesday. But in 2 weeks it's going to be Saturday, Sunday, and Monday. And it's a phenomenal show. We just have a brand new set. We have video screens, and as he's going into the different stars, you see the backgrounds of where they came from and what movies they did. It's really a phenomenal show.
Great,
It's a
I'll come
one-man
see it.
show with 37 stars in it.
Okay, so we'll have to go see Rich
And
Little
it's
at
directed and
LVH.
produced by a star, which I think is great.
Steve Rossi.
Yes. And written by me also. And anyhow,
And written by you.
yeah,
Oh my God.
Oh, yeah.
You're such
I
a
know.
talented boy.
I
I
certainly
never
am.
really knew.
And I'm very humble also.
Yeah, I know. That's one thing about the talent in this
Very
room. We're all
handsome,
very
thank you.
humble.
A lot of guys love me. A lot of guys love me. No, but yeah, I'd like to see your show.
Yeah, you should.
And,
Well, this weekend, Friday, Saturday.
Friday I might be able to get there because Saturday we're working.
Okay, so if
But
you're
you're
interested in
invited to our
going
show
to see the
anytime.
Rich Little show, you can contact the LVH for tickets.
No, no, call me.
They call
And
you?
you'll be my guest.
No, I'm talking about the
Everybody
audience.
out there?
I
Oh,
mean,
the audience is Don't call me. Call the box office at the LVH. We gotta sell some tickets.
Oh my gosh. So Amy, how do you feel being amongst all these entertainers and talented people that we have here in Las Vegas? I know you run across a lot of them, but there's also a lot of healing arts people. But you know, being in Las Vegas has to be a little bit different. You know, running into so many artists and musicians and singers.
Well, for me, it's really exciting because we're all people, all trying to do.
Oh, we are?
Aren't we? Or me. And
Yeah.
like in my career, I worked with 3-star, 4-star generals, and it's kind
Yeah.
of like the same thing. That oh my God, they're out there, they're whatever more than me. Better than me, then you realize,
No.
they're people too.
We're all people.
And we're all trying to make sense of this. And it's so much fun for me to see people that are really good at what they do.
Yeah,
As I
and-
said, there's so many people in Vegas that are just so amazing.
I met Amy when she ran into me. She was in a car at the time.
Well, Gary's, like I said, Gary's been back here since 1994, but he and I met in 1968 when we did a play together. It was the first play I was in, and it was a Joe Behar production. And Joe Behar used to be here, and he had a ton of productions here. Is he still doing things?
I have no clue.
Yeah.
I've lost contact with him since 1968.
But Gary is grew up in a musical family. They had a whole group of singers and musicians.
Well, we
How
were
was
like
it, 13 kids or 12?
Yeah, well, I'm one of 11. I'm one of 11. Yes.
I knew it was a lot.
Yeah, it was called the Allens. We had to change our name because somebody else had the same name and it wasn't going so well. So they changed our names to the Allens. We were like the Osmonds. We
Yeah.
were a family band. We traveled. We had the school bus. We were actually the real Partridge Family.
Oh, that's right. You said that they wrote the story about you. Right?
Yeah, we were going to
Your
come out
family.
with the show, the Allen Family, with the school bus and all 9 yards. It leaked out, and all of a sudden Partridge Family came out, and I said, oh, well, that's showbiz.
Wow.
You know.
And Dolly and I, like I said, met in at Jesus Christ Superstar at UNLV. And we were just kids then, and since then, she's been working in this town. I was out in L.A. for several years, and every time I come back to L.A., Dolly would be in a different show. She was in Country Tonight Show, and I remember that was when she taught herself how to play guitar.
Yeah.
Or actually, before that, when you were playing with the country
I was playing
band,
with
right?
a gentleman by the name of Don Holloman.
Don Holloman, right?
And I learned how to play guitar. They just put me in the band, and he gave me a guitar and said, "We're not going to turn you on for 9 months, so you just watch my hand and listen to the drummer." And
I could turn you on in 9 minutes.
So I learned how to. That's how I learned. So needless to say, I know 3 chords. No, just
Yeah, but that's what most of the songs. Look at the Beatles
Yeah.
songs. A lot of those just
Yeah.
have 3 chords. A lot of country songs just have 3 chords. Nothing wrong with just 3 chords.
Next year, February 9th,
Uh-huh.
is the 50th anniversary of the Beatles, and Alan and Rossi on the same 3 shows with them.
Oh.
And I'm doing the Letterman show that night.
Oh my gosh!
we gotta
that's
tune
great.
in.
Yeah,
We gotta
February
tune in
the
on
9th
that.
Yeah,
next
and
year.
a couple other shows.
Oh my gosh!
Okay.
Because that was the Sullivan Theater.
The Sullivan Theater, right. Well, I know Trish and Darion are. Have you been exposed to all these musicians and artists, and do you know a lot about entertainers in this town?
Have you ever been exposed?
Yeah.
That's what we're trying to find out.
We were just saying.
Now they're trying to teach people not to do that.
Yeah. I think what they're doing is, I think what you're doing is a phenomenal thing to take care of teenage people that are pregnant. It really is an incredible thing to do.
Thank you.
Thank you.
Well, I'm sure you've got a lot of entertainers and artists that are young teenage girls, that are going through what they're going through.
Absolutely.
Yeah. So you were going to say something, Tori. Oh, she's so shy.
You can't make her. You can't make her.
So, how long have you lived here in Las Vegas? Did you grow up here?
Well, I did. I grew up here.
Yeah.
I moved away for undergrad. I lived in Nashville for a few years, and then for grad school, I lived in Fort Worth. So I recently moved back home and living here and working and helping with the programs.
Yeah. Well, that's good. How did you get involved in the program? What inspired you?
Well, at the time when I was in graduate school, and my mom actually met my employer now, and she just said, my daughter is interested in helping teens and youth in the community, and my mom, gave me her contact information and spoke with her, and at the time during the summer, we had a kind of a pilot program that was geared towards kind of teaching the same information to preteens and training. Trisha did most of this training of the older teens to teach the preteens.
Oh, that's
and
good.
so
That's
that's when I came on with the pilot program, and it was just a really great and rewarding experience. And so that's how I really got involved. Just always had a heart for the youth and for just the young people coming up.
Well, that's beautiful.
Well, I'm sure they're very lucky to have both of you, you know, and the whole program, and I'm so glad that it's in place. And I'd love for us to be able to do something, you know, with you guys.
That'd be
And
great.
if not, you know, at least just help you, you know, support you in what you're doing. That's for
Right.
sure. So, Michael, are you ready to sing for us yet?
Sure, anytime.
Well, come on, let's get you up here singing. I think we've got the song queued up for you.
Michael's going
And
to
this
use my
is-
voice.
Oh, no, we might be in trouble.
Yeah. Yes, I will become Steve Rossi for a minute here.
Okay. Well, this is a song. It's called "Dream a Little Dream" by Michael Throckmorton.
An original song by Michael, right?
Yes.
Great. There's more.
Mama would sing to me and smile. She'd sing her favorite words. Live your life, live your life. Dream a little dream as you go along. Live your life, live your life. Dream a little dream as you go along. Dream a little dream for me. Dream a little dream for me. When I was a young man, I'd sing her words the best I can. Then the angels took her away. I cried and cried so many days. And then I'd wish upon a star to take me where you are. Live your life, live your life. Dream a little dream as you go along. Live your life, live your life. Dream a little dream as you go along. Dream a little dream for me. Dream a little dream for me. When I am old and gray, and I'm too tired to play, I'll still sing your words. Live your life, live your life. Dream a little dream as you go along. Live your life, live your life. Dream a little dream as you go along. Dream a little dream for me. Dream a little dream for me. Ooh.
That was Michael Throckmorton. Dream a little dream. Thank you, Michael. That was beautiful. So, if you're just tuning in now, you're listening to Lunch with Sandy, and I've got a full house here at the studio and West Sahara, 6655 West Sahara, KLAV, 12:30 a.m. on your dial. Well, guys, let's see. Come here. Come on, Kelly.
Yes.
Tell us one more time where we can find out about getting tickets for your show,
You can go
which is
to
the Trunk Show.
Trunk Shows Review. Something's falling.
It's okay.
Oh, this Friday and Saturday at 8 p.m. at the Onyx Theater, which is by Sahara and Commercial Center Drive,
Okay.
in the center there. And you can call the number that I told you before, which I don't have now.
That's okay,
Or go to,
onyxtheater.com.
or Onyx Theater, and it's ONYXTHEATRE.com.
Okay,
For
great.
tickets.
Well, thank you so much,
Oh,
Kelly
thanks,
and
Sandy.
Dolly Coulter, for coming out today with Lunch with Sandy. And we're going to have lunch over at Sammy's Wood-Fired Grill afterwards, so if everybody would like to join us over there, you can join us. And Tricia, tell us again where we can find out more about the Southern Nevada Pregnancy Prevention Project.
If you have a faith-based organization that is interested in becoming part of SNTPP, you can contact Robert Robinson at area code 702-287-4232.
What's that number again?
It is 702-287-4232, and that's
Okay.
Robert Robinson.
Okay.
And if you're interested in instructor opportunities, you can contact Education for Quality Living at 702-900-6496. Again, that's 900-6496.
Thank you, Tricia. And Terrion, what would you like to say as a closing statement for everybody out there listening?
Well, I guess I'm kind of put on the spot for a moment. That's
what we do here. You can handle it. You can handle it. I know you can.
Well, I mean, as far as the program, SNTPP, it's just, a group of individuals in the community just coming together and just working to impact the lives of youth in our community. And I think if people contact Robert or contact us at EQL, they'll find that everyone is just really passionate about this project and just changing lives. And we just really, even if we just reach just one student at a time, I mean, that's really worth it for us.
That's great. Well, thank you so much for being here today, and thank you for all the great work that you're doing, Tricia and Terrion. Okay, and Amy Frost?
Well, June 15th, UNLV, they're going to be having a veteran career fair, and I'm going to be helping with that. We're going to have a veteran forum, and we're going to be doing workshops on helping them to get back to work, bringing career experts from all over the country.
Gee, we might have to get Michael Throckmorton and maybe myself, or maybe we can do something with
Make some noise.
entertainment, yeah.
And then the Daybreak Coffee Shop, we're starting to have, I'm making it up as I go, you know how I do, collaborative circles. It'll be the first and third Tuesday of each month at 4 o'clock. And we're going to get 12 people together. It can be around a particular cause, youth at risk, or veterans. And then we're just everybody to talk about who they are, what they care about, and we're going to start action planning.
In fact, that'd be a great thing for you girls to come to one time. Yeah, we'll get you involved in that.
And
too.
then from our collaboratives already,
Yes.
Julie from Daybreak is making a coffee blend for
I know.
WIMA.
I'm so
as
excited.
A fundraiser. Yay!
A special blend just for WIMA.
Exactly.
Yeah,
Exactly.
and then whatever is sold, she's also doing it for Toys for Smiles.
Yes, and for the Nonprofit Sector Foundation.
Yeah.
So, she's, poor
She's
girl,
stepping
she
up.
said that as many I can bring to the table, she will. So she might have a pretty big coffee, roasting business here if she's not careful.
Yeah, well, Julie, she started out with a vision, and she has her coffee shop, and then as we started, getting to know her, and started talking about what her vision was that she wanted to do, it just made sense. And of course, Amy, said, well, why don't we do some groups here? And she said, yeah, I love it.
Let's have a circle.
And now she started this where she's creating this special blend with the coffee, and then she puts the labels on.
I had the
bags.
coffee, and it put me to sleep. I couldn't.
Oh, that must have been the sleepy time coffee that you were drinking. Well, thank you, Amy. Thank you. And then also everybody can find out about Amy at amyfrost.com. And also she is the Delivering Happiness Message. She does a lot with the Tony Shea program.
DeliveringHappiness.com. Yeah,
Yes,
Tony
deliveringhhappiness.com.
Shay's work,
Tony Shea, she's one of the bloggers.
And come to see
And come to see
Jimmy
Steve.
Stewart and Friends, starring
Right, at
Ray
LVH.
Swivel at the LVH 732-5111.
Get your
for
tickets.
Reservations and
That's right.
tickets.
And that's
That's right.
Wednesday, or
That's,
Saturday through Wednesday this week?
The first these next 2 weeks will be Saturday, Sunday, Monday, Tuesday, and Wednesday, and after that, Saturday, Sunday, Monday.
And Gary Anthony, where can they find out more
Yeah,
about
just
you?
go to majorep.com and
Hey, lady, talk
you'll
that
find
in.
out all the good stuff we do there.
And Michael, where can people find out about your organization? Very
Actually,
quickly.
go on
Okay,
Facebook,
let's
Las
go
Vegas
back to
Dance and
5
Music
minutes,
Club.
okay?
Like us, and if you have a gig, post it there.
Sounds good. Well, thank you everyone for joining me here on Lunch with Sandy, and we will see you next Wednesday here on KLAV 1230 AM.
Yeah.